Gas World, where every customer means the world to us.
Is a new title really necessary?
Sir, after bestowing the gift of renting ease to millions, a bump is in order.
Okay, let's see.
Master of the rental sphere.
Wow. Oh, is it too much? Apartments.com, the place to find a place.
Investigate TV is here,
You feel like it's a form of voter suppression.
digging deep into the topics that matter to
You
you.
almost seem speechless.
Watch Investigate TV.
From our family to yours, have a happy and safe 4th of July.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
What should the development on Fury's Ferry Road end up looking like? Just ahead, the battle between developers and the people who say their thoughts should be taken into account. But first, it is a hot day, and it's going to be a hot weekend. Let's toss things over now to our first alert meteorologist, Mikkel Hannah Harding. And Mikkel, what can we expect for the upcoming holiday weekend?
Well, Mayor, it's going to be a hot one, that is for sure. We're looking at Grovetown, Interstate 20, and we are talking about mostly sunny skies out there, also a mixture of clouds and sun for some locations, so it depends on where you're at. But as Meredith did highlight, the big story for this weekend is going to be the heat, and we've already felt that really the past few days. It's been very humid, especially today as we continue towards the weekend. We're talking about the humidity sticking around and our high temperatures getting even warmer. As far as a look at radar right now, thankfully we're seeing mostly dry scans across our area. We did see those showers and storms that moved west of our area through Atlanta, impacted them and had to reroute a few flights towards Augusta Bushfield Airport as a result of that. But for us, we're just seeing some cloud cover and mostly dry scans on radar. As far as current temperatures, we're seeing those in the mid to upper 80s and low 90s, but don't let that fool you because it actually feels like the mid to upper 90s and even some low 100s for Louisville, Evans. It feels like 102 right now. So we're already seeing the impacts of that humidity combined with that heat, even as we're looking at temperatures right now today. As far as looking ahead towards tonight, we're going to see temperatures slowly falling towards those lower 80s, and then as we approach 11 p.m., some of us still hovering around that 80-degree mark. So it's going to be a pretty warm evening for any plans you may have, and we're going to keep things nice and muggy as well, continuing through tonight. As we head towards tomorrow morning, we're going to find those temperatures around the low to mid 70s, so it'll be a mild to muggy start for Saturday. That'll give way to a hot afternoon. We'll talk more about that, but let's take a look at some traffic.
And now, First Alert Traffic.
Well, taking a look at our version of the Spaghetti Junction, we're seeing traffic moving nice and smoothly in this area of Augusta, so some good news here. Looking outside at Grovetown and I-20, we're seeing a little bit of backup off that exit 190 ramp, pretty usual for this time of day. Outside of that, Interstate 20, a nice flow here. We'll talk more about traffic and also give a look at the forecast for the weekend into next week coming up.
All right, thanks for that, Mikkel. A sad update to a story we've been following for weeks now. 4-year-old Phoenix Daniels, who shot herself with her father's gun, has died from her injuries. Grovetown Police Chief Jamie Kitchen says charges for the father are expected to be upgraded now to second-degree murder. Davian Daniels was originally charged with having a gun as a felon and modifying it to fire like a machine gun. The Columbia County Coroner's Office says 4-year-old Phoenix Daniels died yesterday at an Augusta hospital after shooting herself at an apartment on Sterlington Drive back on May 29th. Police say he had left it on the floor and called the shooting totally avoidable. The Supreme Court rules against the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness program on its final day before its summer recess. Protesters making their feelings known outside the Supreme Court today after justices threw out President Biden's student debt relief program. It would have forgiven up to $20,000 in student loans for millions of Americans. Those against the case argued the plan exceeded the president's authority. The administration argued it had the power to act during national emergencies like the pandemic. Some experts say Biden's fight for loan forgiveness doesn't end here, but this is a major setback.
It's possible that the Biden administration might be able to come up with a student loan forgiveness policy that is constitutional, but the way that this particular plan was in place is ruled as not.
President Biden's delivering remarks on this decision this afternoon. He said the same Republicans who oppose student debt relief got millions from pandemic relief to keep their businesses open.
Several members of Congress got over $1 million. All those loans are forgiven. forgiven. You know how much that program cost? $760 billion.
Coming up in our next half hour on News 12 Live at 5, we hear some of the local reaction to this nationwide decision. Plans are coming together tonight for a new shopping complex on Fury's Ferry Road. It is right in front of the Westlake neighborhood, and not everyone there is happy about it. News 12's Nick Veland joins us live at 5 right next to that development to break down both sides of the argument and how it's going to shape that area. Nick.
Yeah, Meredith, well, you can see the dirt and the buildings in the distance behind me as, part of this project is those two buildings, and they are now near completion just off of Fury's Ferry Road. And now the developer is asking for a few changes to this project that some neighbors haven't been happy about for years. And now you can see this land off of Fury's Ferry Road and what it looks like now to what it is looking to become. It's going to be a 5-acre lot with restaurants, coffee shops, retail, and more, all already underway with 2 buildings almost done. Now the developer is looking for more building square footage, and neighbors like Jennifer Lauer are tired of seeing more buildings pop up near her backyard.
What I'm already seeing, which really alarms me, is we're seeing vacant properties, and we know those become blights and dangers to around. They can catch fire and empty vacant property. We just actually had that happen. We see more crime around those properties. We have one that's been vacant since I moved here. So I have a concern of why we're putting in more commercial properties when we're struggling to fill the ones we have.
And coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I'll have more from the developer on what's to come.
Right. Thanks for that, Nick. Of course, a lot of questions as that development continues on. Colleges and universities around the country now grappling with the landmark Supreme Court decision on affirmative action. The court ruling now prohibits them from considering race as a factor in college admissions. Our State House reporter Mary Green explains how this could affect one group of South Carolina schools in particular.
Barely 24 hours after the Supreme Court's ruling on affirmative action, it's too soon to know precisely what impact this could have on South Carolina's 8 HBCUs. But some expect it could lead to increased interest and enrollment.
There's just so many things that could potentially come out of this that we're going to see how it all pans out. But as a result of this ruling, it's definitely going to make a lot of changes and put a lot of demands on all of us.
Dr. Ebony Green, a constitutional law professor at Benedict College, says there are concerns this ruling could also pave the way for future questions and challenges related to public funding at HBCUs. And she says a potential increase in enrollment would also put a greater demand on resources at these schools. Orangeburg County Representative Gilda Cobb-Hunter is a top advocate for HBCUs at the State House, with 2 of them in her district. She says this ruling further emphasizes the need for the state to support and fund its HBCUs.
HBCUs have already been underfunded. They have been under-resourced. And so the thought of that being exacerbated by this decision is one that gives me great pause.
Just 2 of South Carolina's 8 HBCUs are public: South Carolina State and Denmark Tech. Representative Cobb-Hunter points out that both schools received significantly less in the upcoming state budget than they had requested in a year with a multi-billion-dollar surplus. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Of course, that Supreme Court ruling will affect other colleges and universities in South Carolina, too. Professor Green notes in states that already had prohibited using affirmative action in college admissions, enrollment for Black and Latino students dropped significantly. First Lady Jill Biden coming down to South Carolina to speak at Parris Island this morning. She spoke at the Marine Corps graduation about her Joining Forces initiative, which plans to provide support for military families. She also offered her thanks for their courage and their commitment.
Know that we are grateful for everything you do, and we are working every day so that you never have to choose between love of country and your love of family.
The program ended with friends and family rushing from the stands onto the parade deck to meet their Marine. Those graduates now join the thousands who have gone through training before them here at the base on Parris Island. The Georgia Department of Public Safety announcing a longtime Capitol Hill canine has passed away. Chase was assigned to Post 50 on Georgia's Capitol Hill and served the citizens of Georgia for 5 years. Canine Chase even got to meet Governor Brian Kemp. Georgia DPS finishing the announcement by thanking Canine Chase for keeping our elected officials and Capitol Hill visitors safe. Live at 5, you are taking a live look at 4th Gordon's 4th of July event. We're trying to get that shot up for you now. It is happening now through 11 this evening at the Fort's Barton Field. If you head that way tonight, there is a carnival, there's food trucks, there's music, and of course the evening will end with a firework display. There we go. Taking a look out there now. Oh, it's hot out there, but of course things will get better when the sun goes down. Tuesday marks 247 years of our country's independence. Things just getting underway out there, but it will continually fill up as the night goes on. A little bit early out there, Mikkel, I would say, and kind of hard to beat the heat when there's not a lot of shade right now.
Exactly, yeah. That's open field under those tents, the best place to be. But as Meredith said, once that sun goes down, it'll get a little bit better out there. But as we head towards the weekend, we're going to have to watch out for the kids and the pets with these extremely hot temperatures. We'll talk about that coming up next.
A major ruling coming down from the U.S. Supreme Court today, all on Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We're hearing from people in our community on how this plan's failure is impacting them.
I'm attorney Jamie Casingo. If you're injured in a wreck, our team has scored record results in the courtroom, and our Google rating is excellent. Injured in a wreck? Call me right now.
It's Dodge season in Waynesboro.
Choose the exact vehicle you want, and we'll deliver it within 500 miles.
Challengers and Chargers discounted up to $5,000.
Shop GoodToGoWaynesboro.com to save time and money.
Here at the Butcher Shop, since we
Second new location in Mullins Colony next to Belk, offering the largest selections, lowest prices, and expert service on all of your favorite spirits, craft beers, and fine wines. Stop in today at Beverage Outlet. It's Ram season. For a limited time in Waynesboro, save up to $10,000 on Ram 2500 diesels.
Shop GoodToGoWaynesboro.com to save time and money.
GoodToGoWaynesboro.com.
The city of Grovetown wants you to know that it now has free fans available at City Hall for anybody who is struggling to beat the heat. The city says its fan drive has been so successful that it is no longer asking for donations. What a good problem to have. It is simply handing out a fan to anyone who might need one. All you have to do is go over to the help desk at City Hall and ask. There is a limit of 1 fan per person. Mikkel, these are the kind of stories we like to report. There's a call out to the community, and the community responds in such a big way that they don't even need any more donations. That's amazing.
Like you said, it's a good problem to have, especially with the hot weather that we have in the forecast for this weekend, pretty much right on time. And thank you to everybody who donated to that initiative. So now they're at the point they don't even need any more donations, which, as Meredith highlighted, a great problem to have. We're seeing temperatures at 91 degrees right now from Bushfield Airport. A little bit more sunshine. Those winds out of the west right now at about 10 miles per hour. As far as current temps around the region, we find those around the low 90s for most locations, but you can see up towards Washington and Wilkes County down to about 83, as they probably seem a little bit more cloud cover than other locations around our area. As far as that grilling forecast, we are going to see temperatures hovering in the 90s through at least about 6 p.m. and then we'll find them dropping into at least the upper 80s the closer we draw towards sunset. Where temperatures going to stay pretty warm as we head through most of tonight, with those temperatures only down towards the low 70s by tomorrow morning. As far as high temperatures the next few days, this is the big weather story as we're looking at upper 90s all the way through Monday, and then continuing even towards the 4th of July. We are going to see those temperatures on the hot side as well as humidity staying elevated. But looking at radar right now, we are seeing mostly dry skins across the CSR rate. We were looking at a complex of showers and storms to our west that pretty much fell apart as it approached our area, but still caused some problems up towards the Atlanta metro area. Actually had 2 of their flights diverted towards Bushfield Airport. Now we're just dealing with some cloud cover after a few isolated showers did move through earlier today. As far as the heat index right now, this is what it feels like outside. So you saw air temperatures were in the low 80s and upper 80s to low 90s, but it actually feels like the mid to upper 90s and low 100s across just about the entire region. So it's a hot one, and we're going to see temperatures again falling towards those upper 70s only as we head towards 11 p.m. Waking up tomorrow, low to mid 70s, so it'll be a mild and muggy start for your Saturday. The weekend's going to be hot and humid. We're tracking the chance for some isolated to widely scattered shower and storm activity. That does look a little bit better for Sunday in terms of those rainfall chances, but even for tomorrow, the chance for a pop-up shower or a storm can't be ruled out. As far as the heat index, though, it's going to be the big story for the weekend. As we approach midday tomorrow, we're talking about feels-like temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, moving past midday, consecutive hours of these temperatures feeling like over 100 degrees for some locations. So you do want to limit your time outside. Be sure to stay hydrated. Dress in lightweight clothing if possible, and don't wear dark colors. As we head towards Sunday, even hotter in terms of the heat index. By midday, it feels like 100 for just about everyone, and then we're going to see those heat index values creeping towards the 105 to 108 range. As we look ahead towards the holiday week next week, we're going to find those heat index values still somewhat of a problem going through the 4th of July. By Wednesday, a little bit of an improvement, but still feeling like 100 as we're talking about what it'll be feeling like outside during some portions of the afternoon, getting into next Tuesday and Wednesday. As far as air temperatures in the car, you definitely want to be able to, or be sure to keep your kids out of the car. Don't leave your pets in the car for too long. With temperatures well over 90 expected for the weekend, it's not going to take long to see those temperatures inside the car get well over 100 degrees. So just want to emphasize that this weekend with that excessive or dangerous heat in place, I should say, you do want to be sure to watch out for your kids, your pets, and loved ones, even the older population as well. But getting into the 4th of July, we keep those rain chances around and those temperatures around the mid-90s.
All right, thanks for that, Mikkel. If you plan to spend the holiday weekend escaping the heat out on the water, there is a new wakeboarding and wake surfing law in Georgia you need to be aware of. It takes effect tomorrow. Wake surfing and wakeboarding will be banned after sundown, and it'll be banned until sunrise. That's because of the issues that the waves can cause from the activity and the lack of visibility. Riders engaging in towed water sports, well, now you have to wear a U.S. Coast Guard approved personal flotation device, aka life jacket, no matter your age. There are some exceptions to this new law. It does not apply to private waterways or if you have a special event permit from Georgia DNR. With this wave of heat hitting the South today, some objects can heat up more than you might think in the sun. Park benches, cars, playground surfaces, all of them can reach temperatures higher than 130 degrees. I mean, look at this. Experts want to remind you, keep the health of your furry friends' paws in mind when taking them outside in this weather. If you can't stand to keep your bare foot or your palm on the ground for more than 10 seconds, it is way too hot for your dogs. Ways to work around the heat: keep your pet in the grass where it doesn't get as hot. Also important to remember how the temperatures can change. Actual air temps are taken in the shade. That means that in the sun, the number can rise by 10 to 15 degrees. Important to remember. Also, stay hydrated. That's so important, too. An intense and heroic rescue caught on camera. We'll hear from the brave officer who saved a man's life. Coming up.
First to metrochamber.com.
A South Fulton police officer receiving praise for saving a driver from a burning car. Of course, the officer says he was just doing his job. As Carly Barnett shows us, the entire rescue was captured on his body camera.
Come on, give me a hand. Body camera video shows the moment Corporal Kevin Turner with the City of South Fulton Police pulls an injured driver out of this car engulfed in flames.
You know, anything could happen in the blink of an eye. You just got to be prepared to react.
On June 17th, around 10 p.m., Corporal Turner says he was working patrol when he got the call that a car had careened off the road. He was first on the scene.
I got as close as I could. And with the flames and the heat, you know, it kind of causes you to close your eyes, kind of like the feeling when you open an oven.
He says the driver was struggling and he sprang into action.
As law enforcement, your instinct kicks in and you just, you know, to save a life. And so when I pulled him out, you don't actually think about what happened and how dangerous it was until it's over.
You can still see pieces of the car in charred ground where the driver hit the tree. Turner was not hurt, and despite his actions, he says he's no hero.
I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and I was just in the right place at the right time. just doing my job.
Corporal Turner has been with the city of South Fulton for 3 years now after making a major career change from a supervisor at Walmart. And because he did that, he was there at a time when seconds made the difference between life and death.
That was someone's son, their dad, their uncle, their brother. So, I was just able to make sure that he was able to see another day with his family.
How great is that? And I mean, he didn't even see the danger to himself. He was just doing his job. I would say he's a hero in that case. Mikkel?
And I totally agree with you 100%, Meredith. Again, we love to see stories like that, just the goodness of people. There are still some good people out there. But as far as high temperatures tomorrow, it's going to be a scorcher. We'll talk about that one more time coming up.
Your accent was get you both.
Get the strong arm.
Call me today and let me fight to get you the biggest check possible.
Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve about other drivers while on South Carolina roads? Well, the state's Department of Public Safety recently held a poll on its Facebook page, and drumroll, the results are in. At number 3, drivers not using their turn signals. At number 2, distracted driving and texting while driving, which I might add is illegal. Let's just throw that out there. And the number 1 pet peeve for South Carolina drivers, left lane camping. Did your pet peeve make it into the top 3?
Yeah, definitely that left lane camping being, you're a South Carolinian too. Oh man, it's bad on any interstate.
Yeah.
26, 20, 95, always camping out in the left lane. Yeah, I feel like we have some of those problems in Georgia too. I see a lot of people running red lights here in Augusta, but we can talk about that all day.
We could.
Just drive safely, use your turn signals, and stay off your cellular devices. As far as Stop the Max radar, though, we're still nice and dry across the area. You can see, though, that cluster of storms now falling apart after it caused some problems up in Metro Atlanta. We're still dealing with some of the cloud cover, though, left over from those storms, and in general, just seeing some clouds out there. As far as current temperatures, we are seeing those in the low to mid 90s and also some 80s. So it's definitely a warm to hot evening, and we'll continue to see a warm and muggy finish to our day with those temperatures staying in the upper 70s all the way through about 11 p.m. tonight. The weekend, though, it's going to be a scorcher. Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday, we're talking about upper 90s widespread, those heat index values over 100 degrees, and we are tracking the chance for those pop-up showers and storms just about each day through next week. We do have more news and weather coming up after a short break, so stick around. Live at 5 continues in just a bit.